Hello students, let us begin with the paraphrasing of Act 2, Scene 7. This is the first of the three scenes where a suitor makes his choice of the three cascades. So here, this scene that we are going to read today, in this scene we will read the first suitor who has come to marry Portia, that is the Prince of Morocco. He is going to make his choice of the three cascades. Here, the Prince of Morocco is attracted by the gold casket, which says, "Who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire." So, in this casket, we will come to know that the Prince of Morocco, he is being attracted, he is being fascinated by the gold casket, which says, the gold casket says, "Who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire." That means, whosoever will choose me will get what many men desire. He is dazzled by the outward appearance of gold and chooses the wrong casket, which contains a skull. So, Prince of Morocco is dazzled by dazzled means he is impressed by the outward appearance of the gold, and he chooses the wrong casket and he finds a skull in it. Thus, he loses the lottery and leaves at once with a heavy heart. So, after losing, when he chooses the wrong casket, he leaves with a heavy heart. Portia is relieved of having got rid of a suitor whom she does not like. And in the end of the scene, we will read that Portia is very happy. She is relieved that at least one suitor whom she does not like has chosen a wrong casket and now he is going to leave. Scene 7, Belmont, a room in Portia's house. Flourish of cornets. Enter Portia with the Prince of Morocco and their trains. So, trains, the word trains here means their followers. So, Portia and the Prince of Morocco, both of them, they enter the stage with their attendants, with their followers. Portia. Go, draw aside the curtains and discover the several cascades to this noble prince. Now make your choice. So Portia first says to her servants, to her attendants, to go and draw the curtains aside behind which the three caskets were kept, and discover the several caskets to this noble prince. Discover otherwise is to find out something, but here discover means reveal. So she tells her servants to draw the curtain aside so that the three caskets are revealed to this noble prince, that is the Prince of Morocco. And then she says to Prince of Morocco, now make your choice. She asks Prince of Morocco to make his choice of the three caskets. Morocco. The first of gold, who this inscription bears, who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. So Prince of Morocco, he starts reading the inscriptions on the golden casket. The first of gold, the first casket is of gold, who this inscription bears. So the words written on, the words inscribed on the gold casket are, who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. So whosoever will choose me will get what many men desire. The second silver, which this promise carries. Now the second casket is silver casket and which carries a promise. That is, who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves. So, whosoever will choose me, whosoever will choose the silver casket will get as much as he deserves. This third, dull lead, with warning all as blunt. So, the word blunt means plain. So, here Prince of Morocco reads the inscription on the lead casket and says that this third casket, that is dull lead, it is boring lead, which bears the warning all as blunt. Blunt means plain, so it bears a plain warning, like it's a plain attraction, a plain color. Who chooseth me must give and hazard all he had. So whosoever will choose the leaden casket will have to give away and have to risk that he had. Like hazard, the word hazard means the person has to risk whatever he has. How shall I know if I do choose the right? So Prince of Morocco asks Portia, like, how would I know that I have chosen the right casket? Portia replies, the one of them contains my picture, Prince. If you choose that, then I am yours withal. So Portia replies that the one of them, the one of three caskets, contains my picture. Like out of the three caskets, in one of the casket lies my picture. So if you choose the right casket, if you choose that casket in which lies my picture, then I will be yours. So Prince of Morocco says, some God direct my judgment, let me see. So Prince of Morocco says, may some God guide me to choose the right casket. May some God help me in making a judgment. Let me see. I will survey the inscriptions back again. So he says, I will go through these inscriptions. I will go through the words that are engraved on each of the caskets. I'll revise the words again. What says this leaden casket? So he starts reading the inscriptions on the caskets and says, what says this leaden casket? So he says, what does this lead casket says? Who chooseth me must give and hazard all he hath. So he reads the words inscribed on the leaden casket, and the words were, who chooseth me must give and hazard all he hath. Like, whosoever will choose me, whosoever will choose the lead casket, he must give and he must risk all he hath, everything that he possesses. So a person who chooses the lead casket has to give everything, he has to risk everything that he already possesses. Must give for what? For lead. Hazard for lead. So Prince of Morocco says, why should, like, one person must give away? For what one should give away everything? For lead. For such a worthless metal like lead, one should risk everything. Hazard for lead. Should I hazard? Should I risk everything for lead? This casket threatens. So he says, this casket is threatening. It gives a threat. It is trying to frighten. Men that hazard all do it in the hope of fair advantages. So he says that people who risk their possessions, people who risk their wealth, all of them, they do that in the hope of gaining something. If the person has some advantage, if the person has some hope of gaining something, then only the person risks. A golden mind stoops not to shows of dross. So Prince of Morocco says that a golden mind means a wise person. Stoops, the word stoops literally means to bend down, but here the word stoops means to lower one's moral values, moral standards. A golden mind stoops not to shows of dross. So the word dross means something which is worthless. So he says, a wise person never bends down. A wise person never lets his moral values go just for the sake of worthless things. I will then not give or hazard aught for lead. So the word aught means anything. So Prince of Morocco says that is why I am not going to risk anything. I am not going to hazard anything simply for the sake of lead. What says the silver with her virgin hue? And then Prince of Morocco turns towards the second casket, that is the silver casket, and says that, what says the silver with her virgin hue? Then he says, what does this silver casket say with her virgin hue? With her virgin hue means with her pale color. Who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves. So he reads the inscription on the silver casket which says, whosoever chooses me shall get as much as he deserves. As much as he deserves? Pause there, Morocco. So he talks to himself and says that, stop here, Morocco. This cascade is saying that as much as he deserves, and weigh thy value with an even hand. He talks to himself and says that, Morocco, you pause here and you analyze yourself with all your real value, like what you are. You weigh yourself, you analyze your estimation. If thou beset rated by thy estimation, thou dost deserve enough. And yet enough may not extend so far as to the lady. So he says that if you are judged by your own estimation, if you are thou beset rated by the estimation means if you are judged by your own estimation, then you deserve plenty. And yet that plenty may not be that much, or it may not be that sufficient to win this lady, that is Portia. And yet to be afeard of my deserving were but a weak disabling of myself. And then he says that, yet to be afraid of my merits, to my deservings means to my merits, is really underestimating myself. It is a weak disabling of myself means it is a weakness, and it may go against my own chances. Like I may lose my chance if I start considering myself as not a deserving candidate. As much as I deserve. He says, as much as I deserve, well, that's the lady. He says, yes, as much as I deserve, well, that must be the lady herself. That must be this Portia herself. I do in birth deserve her, and in fortunes, in graces, and in qualities of breeding. But more than these, in love I do deserve. Now he starts considering himself as a very good or the right person or the right suitor for Portia, and then he says that deserve her. I deserve Portia because of my high birth in birth, means because of my high birth I deserve her, and in fortunes also I equal her. We both have equal fortunes, so that is why I deserve her. In graces, and I deserve Portia because of my graces. So the word graces means because of my natural virtues. So whatever virtues I have, because of those virtues I really deserve Portia. And in qualities of breeding, and other than my graces, other than my natural virtues, I deserve Portia in my qualities of breeding. Qualities of breeding means my education or my upbringing. So in terms of my upbringing also, I am really a deserving candidate for Portia. But more than these, in love I do deserve. But he says that, but more than these things, more than graces, more than birth, more than fortune, more than qualities of breeding, I deserve Portia because I love her. I love Portia so much. But what if I strayed no further but choose here? And then he says that, what will happen? What if I strayed no further? He says that, like, what will happen if I did not move further, if I did not go further, look on the other cascade, but if I choose this only?